persuasive speech on why feminine products should be cheaper / free. Women spend so much money on everyday products. Growing up with 4 girls in my house, they weren't very cheap, and even the cheapest still weren't cheap, but we didn't want to buy the cheap ones because sometimes you can come into problems, and y'all know what I'm talking about. My mom also wouldn't tell us how much they cost because she didn't want us to worry about them because she knew we would. This is just the type of people we were. And I'm on birth control now, so now I don't have that problem, but not everybody has the ability to be on birth control. And birth control is not cheap either. So having, like, it's not like, oh, go get birth control. They're not cheap. None of this stuff is cheap. There are women across the world who can't afford our products that our body demands from us. We don't get a choice of having periods. Sometimes women don't even get the choice of being able to get what product they want. Like, they don't get to choose between a pad or a tampon. Like, it's one or the other. Not both, not, like, you get to choose. Like, it's because that's what they afford. It's not what you want. It's not what you're more comfortable with. It's what you can afford. And some people would say, oh, just get birth control. And like I said, without insurance, it's expensive. Even with insurance, it's still expensive because it's not going to always be fully covered. We don't necessarily want them to be free. Maybe just not taxed, maybe just cheaper if you're going to continue the taxes, but the taxes is what makes them more expensive 90% of the time. Even when we go to a public restroom, we start our periods unexpectedly, forgot something, or we just simply ran out of the last one we had, we still have to pay a little bit of money, 25 cents or so, for a roll of cardboard, like a tube of cardboard and cotton, or a really like rough type of pad that's not like recommended to put there. It's like, why would you? And the people who are putting that stuff there because it's like public, it's free, or it's not free, but it's cheap, so the public's gonna get the cheap stuff, are the ones who don't have to think twice about how much they're spending on their stuff. Like, they could just put it in a basket and be like, oh, no problem. It could be $15 and they'd be like, no problem, because they have the money to do that. Many countries have already made it cheaper and bumped down taxes, or I don't think it even made it free yet, but they have bumped down the price. However, there are people like Denmark and Sweden, so we can't be complaining too much, whose tax is 25% on tampons and pads. There are people that are going to argue the fact that nothing can be done about this because men don't have an equivalent to it, but it's not even about men. It's a feminine product, so why does it have to, like, revolve a man's opinion on it if it doesn't affect them whatsoever? And I feel like at the end of the day, women products are expensive, and even some women can't afford the cheapest kinds because they're still $5 a box. We're not asking them to be free because nothing's free and someone's always working for it, but it should definitely be cheaper because it's a necessity that our body asks for us, and we literally can't do without them.